Hello YouTube, Ready Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys an update on the hedge like I spoke about in the last video that I uploaded, and we'll show you guys what the Aldabras are doing in some of the radiated. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video and let's get started. So as you can see, these tortoises are actually eating some pumpkin here. I know it is December, but this was like kind of late little option that somebody that I know had this really big pumpkin that they want to throw away, but it was not dirty, wasn't harmed whatsoever. Hadn't rotten itself yet. So I went ahead and took the last opportunity to feed these guys the last pumpkin for the season. So there's Aristotle, Plato, Chales, and of course right there is Victoria. Same with these younger radiateds over here. They're enjoying some of that smaller pumpkin. They also had some of their lettuce today because they were inside for the last few days. But what I want to update you guys on is right here, the hedge. As you can see, it is really trimmed back. As you can see, it's like very spotty and not the best growth for this bush, but eventually we'll probably put a fence. But as you can see at the top part, it's a lot more open sun. And right now, like I mentioned in an Instagram post, it is 3:30. You can see there is so much sunlight hitting this area, and in the peak of the day we're getting sun all over this habitat, and even areas over here which some of the Aristotle and like the Aldabras and Victoria usually hangs out more in this area, so they'll be able to get some sun as well. So the next step for this habitat is maybe some expansion, but I might just wait until the winter's over because it's a little bit more of a confined space now and they can go ahead and walk comfortably. And I also want to work on some shelters, which I can show you a palette that I have and maybe some ideas. But this video is more so just a little quick update to show you guys that hedge and what a difference it looks. Obviously more pleasing and more appealing to the yard, but also these guys are going to get that basking that they need. As you can see, they're taking full advantage of it because I had to go ahead and put them in this morning for a few hours, but once I let them back out, they went ahead and started eating. And same goes over here. These guys did get a lot more sunlight, of course, but as you can see right now, they're getting areas that maybe they weren't being able to bask earlier, and they're just walking around. Everybody ate, and they put some work into this pumpkin, which I'll leave for like a day or two, make sure it doesn't go bad, but they'll kind of nibble on it. And like I've explained in previous videos, pumpkin is a great source of natural dewormer. The seeds are a little bit higher in protein, so it's not my favorite thing to feed, but they'll go ahead and munch on it. Not going to harm them because they do not get this that often, if ever. The last time they ate some pumpkin was in October for Halloween, of course, and then it's been about a month since then, if you factor in the time from Halloween all the way to we're now December 6th. So these guys had some time to kind of get over that, possibly deparasite themselves, naturally deworm themselves, and now they're going to go ahead and just munch on this, which is a great, like a little treat, a little snack. And obviously that hard rind outer casing of the pumpkin is a great way for them to trim down their beaks naturally, and it's a great enrichment because they're going to be munching on this for the next 2 days. They have something to kind of do, walk around, eat some hay, and obviously everything else that we go ahead and put for them in their habitats. And then of course they're going to be enjoying that sun, so they're basking right now in the late afternoon, as well as eating some of that pumpkin, which they have been for the last hour and a half. So right here is this very large pallet. I'm trying to get about 2-3 more so I can maybe potentially make a heated shelter or something kind of elevated for the Aldabras, or just even like a shaded hide area kind of for now. But the reason why I want to use a pallet is because I would probably cover this nicely with wood to make it more solidified. But as you can see on the underside, there's that gap, and I can go ahead and hang some lamps or maybe just one heating element to kind of keep them nice and warm and take the edge off of them for the cold kind of period. Or if it was raining too much, for an example, or just in general, if they want to go ahead and stay away from the sun, it's going to also give them a cooling option when there's no heat, of course. Then the other kind of option, excuse the mess everywhere, are these kind of outdoor bins that they sell at Home Depot or like any hardware store. A lot of my friends cut out a hole here. They'll put a door obviously to block them in, and on the inside they have this heating element that does not emit light, just emits some heat with some timers, and they can go ahead and regulate them through Wi-Fi through their phone to see if the tortoises need a little bit higher heat or make it nice and cool. This of course though is more for like my radiateds or my younger species, that are some of them that are smaller, because they can all fit comfortably in here. Right now all 3 Aldabras fit fine, but it would be kind of a wasted effort and financially as well, because these guys are going to grow so big so quick, especially now with more basking potential, that I would probably just use this for only a few months. And I'd rather go ahead and make something a little bit bigger, like that it'll be more durable and last me over time, of course. And then back over here, we have some pumpkin. They actually went ahead and put some work on that piece. But here is Goobs. Gabs was actually out today, which was very good, and I'm very happy about that. So she probably felt comfortable to come out of her burrow. They got some hay, and I have to go ahead and rake this up. As you can see, he's got some pumpkin hanging out of his mouth, some old cactus. This is stuff that was left over from the younger radiateds and the aldabras. It's kind of like the harder pieces. These guys have no problem working on that. And Gabs, like I explained, is probably in her burrow, which she is, but we can't see her. Or sometimes she likes to go in Goobs. But I also want to talk about their shelter here. I have a bunch of cinder blocks under here, and this is a concrete pad that it sits on. So I may go ahead and build a shelter or like a nice house with these cinder blocks. It doesn't have to be as large as this. The main reason why I still have this one going is because I store the hay in there, but I can also use one of those boxes that I just showed you to go ahead and store that hay as well. Like that, I can eliminate such, you know, a vast structure. And obviously this is kind of battered down and old at this point. So I might go ahead and build a nice house out of these cinder blocks, maybe reinforce it with some rebar and some concrete, and just put like a wooden top like that. I can hang some lamps and make sure that it's elevated though, because in the case that it does rain, you guys know that this habitat floods. So here is Mr. Goobs. He's doing good. He is one out of my 2 sulcatas. And as you can see, he's probably trying to be like, oh, what are you doing? But he's not gonna go ahead and bite me there. But there you go, Goobies. We still love this guy. And to talk a little bit more about pumpkin, so I can go ahead and add some more detail to this video. Pumpkin is, like I explained earlier, a very good natural dewormer for your tortoises. Also a great source of kind of like enrichment, because this is a very large thing to eat. It's hard outer casing, takes some time for these tortoises to break it down over time. So what they'll do is they'll pick at it, and you can kind of see the bite marks of these tortoises. And that just kind of serves as a way to naturally trim their own beaks. But the contents, like the pumpkin gut and the seeds being higher in protein, it's going to kind of flush out these animals. So they'll be, you know, able to poop and deworm themselves in a more natural way. And of course, it's a nice snack for them. It's not something that you give them often. You want to kind of regulate the amount that you do and how often and frequent you feed these tortoises. But like I explained, in that Halloween to now season, they've only had 3 pumpkins, and they were spaced out enough where these guys aren't going to have like severe diarrhea or any problems digesting the pumpkin. So that is something to think about. And it's also, like I explained, you can go ahead and get any form of pumpkin or squash. I always feed yellow squash and green squash. These guys absolutely love it, but the pumpkin is a little bit more of a challenge. And even tortoises like these sulcatas will work on that throughout the entire day for a few days. And even the aldabras, radiateds, leopard tortoises, the redfoots, of course, they can handle it much with no problem, because they can, you know, ingest that higher protein. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, and likes. Want to give you guys another update on this, show you guys what's going on around the yard. And I'm kind of in a groove making these videos, and I'm very happy that I'm able to put out some content whenever I can. So like I said earlier, thank you so much for watching, and see you, my fellow herpers.